Why intelligent people spend less time with friends? If you are highly intelligent, then you probably have a better time when you are alone. You know what to do with your time, you never let yourself get bored. At least that's the conclusion of a study published in the British Journal of Psychology by evolutionary psychologist Norman P. Lee of Singapore Management University and Satoshi Kanazawa of the London School of Economics. Evolutionary psychologists believe that the lifestyle of our very ancient ancestors who lived thousands of millions of years ago form the basis of what makes us happy in modern times. In other words, what once made man happy probably still make him happy today. The study involved 15,000 adults aged 18 to 28 and had two findings based on participant responses. The first finding was that people living in more densely populated areas were less satisfied with their lives. Residents of rural areas reported being happier than those living in the suburbs, who were happier than those living in the center of the small towns, who in turn were happier than those living in the center of large cities. The second finding was that the more social contacts a person has with close friends and relatives, the greater their happiness, the exception of the intelligent. But there was one exception to these findings. Correlations were smaller or even reversed when intelligent people responded. Firstly, intelligent people show a preference for densely populated areas, and secondly, when they spend a lot of time with acquaintances, friends, and relatives, this makes them less happy. Why don't intelligent people find happiness when they're surrounded by close relatives and friends? There are various explanations, including the one given by Carol Graham, a researcher who studies the economics of happiness, and as she says, the findings show, and not surprisingly, that people with greater intelligence and ability are less likely to spend a lot of time socializing because they are focused on some other goal that is longer term. This makes sense since intelligent people are focused on achieving spiritual goals, and taking away those aspirations makes them unhappy. And as I'm reading this for you, I'm reminded of the life of Nikola Tesla. He claims he didn't get married because he wanted to focus his time on his experiments and his inventions. Now, by the two evolutionary psychologists here give a different explanation. The idea begins with the assumption that the human brain evolved to meet the demands of the ancestral environment, the African savanna, where the population density was similar to that of rural Alaska today, less than one person per square kilometer. But today the population density has increased enormously in some areas. The density is 27,685 people per square kilometer in Manhattan, and this makes the average person miserable. The same idea applies to friends and social contacts. Our ancestors lived as hunter-gatherers in small bands of about 150 people, according to Kazanawa and Lee, and in these conditions, frequent contact and lifelong friendship are more likely and more necessary for survival and reproduction. We remain social creatures to this day, and so we're happier when we live in the tight-knit social groups. But when someone is smart and capable, they can adapt better to the environment of the densely populated city because he's better equipped to leave the hunter-gatherer social network, especially if he has some high ambition. Thus, intelligent people are better adapted to a crowded environment in which, of necessity, social contact is less and feel less unhappiness in it than unintelligent people who value social contact. I guess they need reassurance by the population. This is translated from a Greek article. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.